I got me a rock and roll band, it's a free-for-all. Baby, yeah, it's free-for-all.
What is up, freebies? Welcome back inside the Free-for-All podcast, episode number 77. If you can believe it, it is the Luka Doncic episode. My name is MJ, not Jordan nor Jackson. It's Baird, KFDX3 sports reporter, alongside the man I always look up to, literally, joining us again via Microsoft Teams, the Burnett CISD athletic director, Coach Free, Grant Freeman. How are you?
I'm just enjoying the wonderful muggy day down here in the hill country.
Muggy. Sorry to hear that.
Beautiful late spring, early summer day in November.
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's kind of hovered around 85 and about 90% humidity
Classic.
this week.
Classic. Gotta love the Lone Star State, don't you? Anyway, the man in the middle, the WFISD multimedia specialist, the voice of Memorial Stadium and Legacy High School, Chad Johnson.
I was really disappointed. I was really looking forward to announcing a Burnett Bulldogs game this Friday.
Tell that story here in a little bit. Yeah, we can tell that story.
We were thinking that the Burnett Bulldogs might be making a trip to Wichita Falls for their playoff football game. Close, but no cigar, as they like to say. We'll get into all that in just a moment. But first, before we go any further, you guys start thinking about 77s in your world of sports. Famous folks to have wore the number 77. I already gave one away with Mr. Luka Doncic. While you're thinking, I am going to thank our sponsor here on the show. Of course, Macaulay Landscapes, proudly serving Wichita Falls for 21 years now. Their services include lawn maintenance, landscaping, irrigation repair, Christmas light installation, so much more. Visit them online, MacaulayLandscapes.com for more information, or pick up the phone, give them a call. I'm sure Patrick would love to talk. 940-632-5346. Macaulay Landscapes, proudly serving Texoma for more than 2 decades now. The Free-for-All relies on Macaulay Landscapes, and you should too. All right, gentlemen, 77. Of course, Luka right off the bat, that's the low-hanging fruit, right? Considering that we've talked about the Mavs and the destructive franchise that they have become. So, obviously, Luka,
Who's this Luka we speak of?
That's basically what I'm getting at. Good point. Ask Ben Coker. He might know who he is. Mark Bindle might as well, not sure. But
Ben has turned back. Ben has forsaken his Mavericks fandom.
he has. Yeah. He's a Luka fan, period. Wherever Luka's at, he's at. Now, the Mavs, not so much.
Time out. Didn't we all three catch a whole bunch of crap for that?
We did from Mark Bindle.
The Ben and Mark combo?
Absolutely.
Yep, 100% we did.
I just want to be on record as, I guess that's turned into Benedict Arnold over there for Ben.
Anyway, a couple other 77s, Chad, including one baseball player that I know you're about to mention.
Well, it's actually surprising that I found this name here, and I had to go back and look it up. With the Houston Astros, Pudge Rodriguez wore number 77.
Not traditional, but
No.
It counts.
I guess so. When he went to Houston, I guess that was Craig Biggio's number, and he wasn't going to wear Craig Biggio's number in Houston. So
Sure.
Wasn't
it Tyron Smith?
Yes,
ding,
sir.
Ding, ding, ding. He's actually number 2 on this list I'm looking at.
Yep. Good Cowboys pull for sure. There's a hockey one. He played for the Bruins. Very obvious answer. Ray Bork.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say Ray Bork.
Yep.
I don't know how I know that.
There's a Detroit Red Wing on here as well that I'm looking at. Paul Coffey.
Okay. Yep. Paul Coffey, 77. There you go.
Yzerman was 99. Is that right? He was like Gretzky.
92.
92. Okay.
Here's one that I know Grant's going to remember, and I'm going to bet MJ has never heard of. George Murison.
Nope.
Yeah, Big George for the Washington Bullets.
Yep.
Steve.
Was Ray Bork 77 when he went to the Avalanche?
I don't think he was that old.
No, not age. Number, Chad. First off, I got to correct the record. I am seeing Steve Yzerman as 19, not 91. 19.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, what did you asked about Ray Bork when he went to Colorado? I feel like he was.
Did he keep 77? Yeah. That's how I don't remember him a lot. I do remember those end when he won the cup.
Yes, I do see a picture of him. Man, he looks so old in that photo, playing for the Avalanche, wearing the number 77.
Here's another really good offensive lineman. I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame or not. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame. but a really good former offensive lineman, Willie Rofe.
Oh yeah, Saints.
Yes.
I'm just looking at pictures of Ray Bork right now. How old was he when he retired? He looks literally 50.
He was in his 40s, I think.
He looks 50.
Well, that's like those pictures of, is it George Blanda? There's a picture of George Blanda next to Tom Brady when they were both like 47 years old. And George Blanda looks like he's about 70.
Yeah, he like smoking a cigarette on the sideline.
Yeah, Tom Brady looks 30.
According to Google, Ray Bork was 40 when he retired in 2001. looks much older than 40.
It's like Otis Nixon, former Major League outfielder, always looked like he was about 70 years old.
Got the cup, though. Got the cup. Anecdote, met Ray Bork one time, cried, was scared. Yep. I was like,
because of how big he was.
I don't know. I was 4, 5, 6 years old.
Did you know who he was?
Yes. Yep. We were at a hockey game, and my uncle was refereeing. It was an AHL game, and it was in Hershey, Pennsylvania, I think. He played for the Hershey Bears. Anyway, his son, Chris, was playing in the AHL. We met Ray Bork in the stands. My dad was like, "That's Ray Bork." And I was like, I cried and ran away. I was scared. Yeah. I don't know why. I just intimidated, I guess. Anyway. Any other 77s? I got none on my list.
No, that's it.
No.
Of any significance, anyway.
Well, you know what is significant? Coach Free's Burn It Bulldogs pulling off a bi-district round playoff win in the round in the what is it? Class 3A Division 1?
Class 4A Division 1.
Crap. Class 4A Division 1 bracket of the playoffs. Coach Free, tell us about the win over Andrews 21-7.
Yeah, big, upset for us. Andrews was the district champion. We were the 4 seed coming out of our district, played at San Angelo Stadium. And it was one of those games early that kind of went back and forth. There were seriously like 5 turnovers in the first quarter of play. It was wild. But we got up on them 7-0, and then they tied it up 7-7. And then we were able to push through and go ahead and take a 2-score lead. Getting our running back helped a lot. He scored on the ground and then caught a touchdown as well to go up 21-7. And for a slot T team, whenever you're down 2 scores like that, especially in the second half, it's really tough to come back from. Our defense really stood tall and played really well, stuffed them. They got us on a couple of trick plays, but it's been an interesting year because it took a little while to get rolling, then got rolling and got injured, and then have had a tough time here at the end. But credit to the coaches, the coaching staff who persevered through all of that and kept the ship heading in the right direction. And shout out to all the kids who fought back from injury and fought through and were able to be bi-district champs.
It looks like that district is going to be getting to know the city of Canyon and the Panhandle for that matter this week.
Yeah. Yeah, the triumvirate of Canyon schools in round 2, and then the Dumas Demons. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting second round matchup. I think our district matches up really well. Again, I thought we had I thought us and that Canyon district were the best 2 districts in the region. And that kind of proved itself out because we both went undefeated. That's the only, out of the 4 districts, we totally swept, District 1 and District 3. So kudos to both of those districts, and then we'll kind of see how it plays out this weekend. We come up to you guys to play at Iowa Park on Friday afternoon, play a tough Canyon Randall team, a team I'm really familiar with, with the new coaching staff, obviously, but a team that's going to fight and scrap. They're going to look a lot like us, really, just a kind of a hard-nosed team. Game should be somewhere in the 20s. And it's, they've done a good job this year. Coach Sherwood's done a good job there at Canyon Randall. And I really do think it's going to be a really good second round game.
Those Canyon schools, man, 10-1, 9-2, 7-4. Pretty good things going on in Canyon.
Certainly. Coach
they've done a really good job there.
And then Dumas, I love hearing Grant. I don't know if MJ, I don't know if you've ever heard Grant's story about playing in Dumas or not, but it's one of the better
the stadium,
stories.
right?
Yes.
When you have to walk out like that.
With pitchforks.
The pitchfork.
Yeah.
The pitchforks. It was a little bit wild. kind of had to talk to Jesus about that one, but that's a whole other deal. But we've, obviously we played Dumas and the Panhandle teams from my time up in Wichita as a head football coach, and so familiar with that group. It's a little bit different for down here. You don't see a lot of Canyon Burnett games, so there's not a lot of familiarity, and that's going to be on both, going both ways. Canyon doesn't have a lot of familiarity of our type of kids and our type of offense, defense, and we don't have a lot of familiarity with them. And so I think that makes for unique matchups, especially in the second round at a 3:00 kick, which is abnormal. And so we're going to see who kind of jumps out ahead and hangs on to the momentum in this one.
I was curious about the 3:00 kick. Whose idea was that? Was that y'all's idea or Canyon's idea? Who wanted to play at 3?
Kind of both. One was stadium availability. Chad knows this.
Uh-oh. This is not on my end, folks. This is Coach Free.
This from
he's back
working with me. This is round.
Coach Free, you're lagging big time.
Now we're caught up.
Not quite. Leave and come back, because we got to hear this story.
Am I back to normal now?
No.
Gotta love technology. So while we're waiting for him, we do have a game at the stadium on Friday night. Anna and Amarillo Paladuro.
Okay, I'll stop now.
Which should be a good one. Paladuro's been here twice to play Memorial and Legacy. Anna won a state championship 2 years ago, I believe, in 4A, and her now a 5A team. So
so Paladuro must be happy with playing in Wichita Falls, because they're like, let's come back a third time this year. Yeah.
They like the PA announcer.
That's what it is. Yes, they like the PA announcer. Coach Free, we're back, brother.
All right, let's try. You would think our wonderful sponsor would get me my own setup down here. Maybe, I don't know, something like that.
It's called reliable Wi-Fi is all.
Round two in Region 1, like 6A, 5A, 4A, and some 3As. It's all Metroplex area schools playing West Texas or El Paso. So there's only a small window of stadiums that are available, kind of in the Wichita Falls, Abilene, San Angelo area. Sure. Like Sweetwater, kind of all the way up. So really all of the stadiums were booked for night games. We tried to play this at Sweetwater. We were 13th on the list. It just kind of ended up where, this was the option. We were originally slated to come to Wichita Falls, and there might be a gap in athletic director right now. It's kind of tough to get somebody on the phone Friday night to kind of confirm some of those game times. And so Brian Wood, who actually used to be the head coach here in Burnett, was actually in San Angelo watching the game. And I just said, hey, can we play at your place at 3:00? He was like, yeah, we got a game after you, but 3:00 would be fine. So we ended up there.
There you go. Wichita Falls, Iowa Park. Coach Free, don't tell Chad this, but you don't got to deal with the PA announcer at the stadium.
Yeah, really loud. I've heard through the grapevine that he likes to blow speakers or stuff like that.
Whoa! Shots fired.
I get blamed for. Yeah. Anyway,
Chad knows I was his biggest defender.
For the record, I will be at the game in Iowa Park at 3:00 on Friday, helping out our Amarillo station, who has requested that we send them some Canyon Randall highlights. However, if Burnett doesn't let Canyon Randall do anything, then I'll be sending them Burnett highlights. So that's you guys. Yeah.
That's big time VIP coming out to Iowa Park.
Listen, some might say VIP. Yeah, very unimportant person. Yes. I am looking at Lone Star Football Network history between Burnett and Canyon Randall, and it says never before have they played.
Oh, wow.
Really? I didn't figure they had.
Yeah, so this could be the first ever matchup between these two programs.
It's always cool when it's always cool when you see matchups like that, because you talk about mileage, you talk about different classifications, because Burnett's kind of on their way up. Canyon has been at that 4 or 5A level for a long time, so
yeah, interesting.
It's going to be an interesting game. It's one of the weird caveats that we're in Region 1, because we're in Region 3 for everything else, but Region 1 for football, and so it makes for unique matchups because we are so far down here.
So just looking at Canyon real quick here, obviously 2 seed out of their district. As Chad mentioned, 9 wins. They played an El Paso school in the first round, and historically, as we know, the El Paso team's not the strongest in the world.
Wasn't it Randall that put up like 85 or something like that? Do you have that? Oh, no, they only won 49 to nothing.
Only 45, yeah.
It may have been West Plains. One of those teams put up 80-something.
Coach Free, are any of these common opponents? Did Burnett play any of these? Plainview, Monaghan.
That's what I'm looking at. No, I don't see any common.
Okay. Chad.
Now, again, they play majority like Panhandle, like Plainview,
Sure.
Monaghan's, all of that area. So they don't kind of travel down this way.
And I didn't get to see them. They played Legacy here, but that was the one game I missed this year. I was in Stillwater.
Okay.
That was actually Legacy's homecoming, but I was in Stillwater watching OSU get beat that night.
Sure. Yeah. Well, they didn't win. We know that.
Yeah, that may have been Gundy's last game. I don't really remember, to be honest with you.
Interesting. Okay, so Canyon
so
Randall.
I didn't get the opportunity to see them play, but they're always a solid team, solid program. So
interesting. All right. Well, good luck to the Burnett Bulldogs, Coach Free, and I will see you on Friday afternoon, assuming you're making the trip.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You're making the trip.
That's really the reason Burnett didn't want to play at Memorial Stadium, because Randall's already won a game there this year.
Ah, there you go.
Could have been.
There you go.
That's really
there needs to be a behind the scenes of how, like, I wish somebody would, probably more so when I was at Wichita Falls, because there's a lot more. You have the trying to set up a game story, during the week, and then what the chaos that happens after, because you try to make all these plans during the week, and then that gets thrown directly out 2 seconds after the game.
And what's crazy,
but then also like having a second phone for like setting up games. When I was at Wichita Falls, like we don't host games here at Burnett, and so I don't have that caveat of it. But yeah, it gets wild.
What's crazy is what Grant would do it, and now Scott Halfley's doing it. That he'll send kind of an update at the beginning of the week, like, hey, potentially like 7 games next week, and we have 1. But then next week he may be like, oh, well, right now we've only had 1 school that we've talked to, and we may end up with 7 next week. It's just such a crazy.
Who wins? Who doesn't? Who ends up coming here? Who doesn't? Yeah, it's.
I bet you mentioned Sweetwater. I'm sure Sweetwater, Abilene, right there where they're at. I bet they stay hopping just because of their locations.
Well, I called Brian Hodnett, who's now the AD head coach in Sweetwater. I was like, hey man, what's round 2 look like? He goes, it looks like you'd be 14th on the list. I said, hey man, have a nice day.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Sorry to bother you.
Coach Hodnett used to be in Jacksboro and Haskell, I believe. So
okay,
he was a longtime assistant with Brad McCoy and Graham.
Well, as we move on to our next high school football team, it's unfortunate that we have to say the season has ended for the WFISD, the Wichita Falls Mavericks, falling in the first round at El Paso Andrus, 8.5 hours away. 28-14 the final score. So the Mavs finished the year, their second year in existence, with a 7-4 record.
Just unfortunate. I listened to the first half of the game when we were driving to Stillwater, and they had the ball inside the 5 twice. One time they got stopped on downs, another time they fumbled. Just really seemed, at least in the first half, really seemed to struggle in the red zone. And then after the turnover on downs, Andrus proceeded to march down the field on a 98-yard touchdown drive. Just couldn't quite. It didn't sound like they could quite get anything in sync. They were out without a couple of receivers that had a pretty nasty little crash into each other during the walkthrough the day before. Not that valuable players, but not the reason they won or lost the game.
Sure.
But like I say, what I got to listen to in the first half, I think they kind of got it going in the second half, but just then gave up a couple drives that the defense just struggled a little bit. So
I think it's really hard whenever you're playing that far away to get a team in gear for just a total different shock to their system of showing up. I mean, again, we traveled in Wichita Falls, so you're used to 3-4 hour trips, but 8.5 where you're having to go down the day before, stay overnight, then like a 6 o'clock, 6:30 kick. It was some kind of, it was.
And you've got a time change difference too, which isn't a big deal, but it just adds to the layers.
Man, you try to be creatures of habit with your team, and there's no way to habit that. And it's probably why they started out so slow. It's not an excuse; it's just the reality of it.
Right.
but again, and Mark would tell you this the same. I didn't listen or watch any of that game, but just one of those off years. It just stuff never lined out right.
Correct.
And it's unfortunate. You kind of look at it with out of bad glasses, but eventually you're going to look back and 7-4 after your first year. And after your second year, you won a playoff game in your first year, and so nothing to hang your hat about. But it's also stuff to improve upon going forward.
Right.
Yeah, I would say I agree totally, hitting the nail on the head, Coach Free. Just it felt like this year nothing came together like it was supposed to for Memorial. Obviously, we know you look at the individual talent on the team. Like for example, no better example than Joe Castles, right? Going to Abilene Christian as a quarterback. Right. Like they had talent on this football team. For whatever reason, it wasn't coming together well enough. And as we kind of saw them stumble in district play, and granted, district was nuts across the board, but you kind of got the feeling, this isn't a team clicking on all cylinders, and we kind of thought history would repeat itself in the sense of, it's El Paso, right? Like we as in Wichita Falls have never struggled with El Paso before, but this is a 1 seed. You were a 4 seed.
Yeah, to be clear, this is that's the district champion.
Yep.
Like, I don't care if they're El Paso or not. That's the district champion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I promise you, Memorial didn't take them lightly.
No.
I think I would venture to guess the fans as a whole probably did.
Yep, I agree.
Because I don't think anybody that I spoke to just assumed that they were going to. Oh, we'll watch them next week. We're not going to make that trip to El Paso. They'll be back. They'll be back closer to home next week. And to a man, I think this isn't players or coaches saying this. I don't think the players or the coaches took this lightly because, it had to happen eventually.
And there are extremes. We kind of lump El Paso into everything, but there are extremes. Lubbock Cooper got tested by an El Paso school all the way to the end. Amarillo High got beat by an El Paso team. Memorial got beat by an El Paso team. It's either a 49-89 whatever to nothing, or you're right there with them, and they're able to compete. I hate using they and them, but it's just such a different brand of football. And if you're not ready, if you don't go out there prepared, those better teams coming out of there are gonna smack you because they got athletes.
And I think
they have athletes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Grant, but I think part of the problem with the El Paso schools is there's such an unknown. Because there's so many schools in that area that's all they play all year long. So nobody really knows who they are. Yeah. Nobody really knows what they have. They can
do whatever they want to within the city, and nobody ever really would know. And there's really no gauge to test how good or bad they are. You're seeing them compete. Obviously, in soccer, they've always competed in soccer, but you're seeing them compete in basketball now. They're coming out and competing in basketball. You're going to see them continue to get better in football as they kind of figure it out and they come out of the city a little bit more. Their 6As have done well recently, but now it's kind of bleeding down into the 5As. The 4As are really tough. They can't compete. That's a tough look, but the success of the 6As is bleeding down now into the 5As. They're kind of figuring it out how to come out of the city and compete.
Well, here's some other high school football games in the area this week. Class 5A D2, Amarillo Paladuro versus Anna, which Chad mentioned when we had to drop Coach Free off the call real quick. This one here at Joe Golding Field, so if you're in Wichita Falls and don't want to travel, watch two teams come together and play Friday night at 7:30.
Hey, I don't want to correct
That'll be a good game.
I don't want to correct your website there, MJ, but look at your Burnett Canyon Randall location.
It's at Hawk Stadium, which is not in Burke Burnett. It's at Hawk Stadium, which is in Wichita. It's in Iowa Park.
Where is it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's totally unacceptable, to be honest with you.
That's like Chad calling Memorial Legacy when you mix up Iowa Park and Burke.
Wait a minute. Whose byline is on this store? Oh. You didn't see that. All right. Thank you, Chad. We'll have to get that fixed. Burnett Randall, Thursday. Yep. I'm having a day. Friday, 3 o'clock in Iowa Park. Stephenville Dumas, 7 o'clock Friday in Vernon. Then we have our local teams, Graham, Lubbock, Cooper, Liberty playing in Abilene, Vernon and Denver City in Canyon. The entire Class 3A Division II local district swept in the first round, so they all advance. Jacksboro has Blue Ridge Friday in Denton. City View has Gunter Friday in Denton.
Rent the shirts.
Henrietta has Callisburg Friday in Coppell. Holiday has Leonard Thursday in Denton. 3 of those 4 teams playing in Denton.
Here's the thing real quick with that too, and Grant has talked about it a ton of times, but Holiday kind of stubbing their toe at the end of the year actually benefited them.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're in the opposite side of the bracket from Gunter by finishing 4th, as opposed to they were going to finish 2nd and kind of stub their toe. So now they're in 4th place on the complete opposite bracket as Gunter. So kind of a blessing in disguise.
Sure is. 2A Division II, Windthorst and Lindsay in Weatherford on Friday, Quanah Albany in Holiday on Friday. I'll be over there as well. Collinsville Wheeler in Iowa Park on Friday. Munster and Wellington here in Burke Burnett. And then at the 1A level, 2 local teams remaining. Newcastle has Water Valley Friday in Baird. And then this Benjamin Balmorhea game, I believe actually just yesterday it was set. They are going to play in, I know this too, Garden City, I believe.
So MJ, I don't have the bracket in front of me. Just assuming, because typically it happens in week 3. If we get a Jacksboro Holiday, if they both win this week, will they be playing each other next week?
No, I think it's one more round.
One more round? Okay.
I believe it's one more in the regional semifinal.
Okay.
No?
No, it'd be this week.
By district
It'd be
area,
Thanksgiving week.
regional quarterfinal? Regional.
No, regional. Well, it's called the regional round. And then the next round is called state quarterfinals.
Now we're getting into the terminology again, which is
MJ
so
loves
dumb.
MJ loves the terminology.
Listen, when I first started here, it was by district area, regional quarterfinal, regional semifinal, regional final, state semifinal, state final. And nowadays, that's just like thrown out into the...
Is that Division 2 or Division 1 while you're on your rant?
That is 3AD2. And now it's like, okay, well, we got rid of one of the rounds, so it's by district area, regional... semifinal.
It's called regional. So it's essentially regional semi, but it's called the regional round.
Not to me, it's not.
The regional final is called the state quarterfinal round.
No, it's not. It's the regional final.
Well, sure. I'm just telling you what it says.
What it says is dumb. We go through this every single year, me and Tobin. Like, why do we have to do this to ourselves, people? It's simple.
So, yes, if Jacksboro and Holiday both win, they will be playing Thanksgiving weekend.
Next week, okay.
I love it.
I don't even follow them, and I figured that out. If they're not on the same side of the bracket as Gunner, then yes, they'd be playing.
I love it when MJ goes on his get off my lawn rants.
Look, I'm going to show people. It just makes sense.
The youngest old guy in the history of the world.
Okay, first round right here, right? By district. Everyone agrees that that's the by district, right? Second round, area. Everyone agrees that's the area, right? Okay, third round. This is Region 1 right here. There are 4 teams left, which means that is the semifinal of the region, the regional semifinal. Okay? Now, this is round 4. Region 1, 2 teams left. Only 1 team can win, which means this is the final.
State quarterfinal.
In the region. It is the regional final, okay? Then we have the state semifinals, because there's 4 teams left in your classification. And then we have the state championship, okay? Look at Coach Free. Look at this guy. Can't even get... If anybody's old, it's you, brother. You can't figure out how your background works. Like, come on. It's not that hard. By district area.
I think we need to have a new segment. It's MJ's Get Off My Lawn moment.
I agree. I want to see what he's fired up about each week. It's my favorite deal.
Tell me why the regional final...
Instead of MJ's motivation, it could just be MJ's fired up.
Tell me why the regional final is better to be called the state quarterfinal. Tell me why.
Because state level sounds better.
Oh,
made it to the state level.
So that's what this is about, how good it sounds.
I'll be honest, that's what it is.
That is ridiculous.
I think I've always sound as good that you're in the regional final. It sounds better that you're in the state quarterfinal.
I think I've always called it the regional final as well, but I don't really care either way. I mean,
if that's the case, let's call it the state round of 16. Oh, we can say states next to our round.
Hey, well, let's throw
the state round of 32.
Let's throw another mix in it, and I know this isn't sports related, but band competitions go backwards. They have regionals and then area.
That doesn't make sense either. By district area, regional semifinal, regional final, state semifinal, state final, period.
You gonna be okay?
No, I'm not. And you know what? Actually, here we go. Okay. So volleyball.
I'm glad that Chad's there in the studio with you.
Volleyball and even basketball for that matter.
His veins are popping.
Because they changed it and now there's no regional tournament. And then now the state semifinals are not at the same location as the state finals. They're at their own separate location. So when we say a team is going to state, what does that mean now?
State semifinals.
Why?
Because that's what the logo says.
That's what the logo says.
You want to know why? The only thing that matters is what UIL calls it because they're the governing body.
Right.
No.
Is with them, sir.
What matters is what I think it should be called. That's what matters.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hey, and while we are on, MJ's fired up here, but you mentioned volleyball, and I want to give a shout out to our former athletic director who got this set up. We did host the 3A volleyball state semifinals to a packed house Saturday.
That's awesome.
With one incredible match that went 5 sets. Bushland beat Ponder, I believe. And then Boyd beat Wall, I think, in 3 sets, I believe. But I wasn't there. I was once again watching a college football team get beat. But from what I understand, the atmosphere was incredible. It was packed. I heard people that had to park at the front of the school because there was no parking at the back. So
it's a long hike to the gym.
Yeah, so...
That was the big showcase for Wichita Falls that I envisioned.
Yes.
Well done.
So how many did just volleyball do this? Because I thought more sports did this. I'm under the understanding now that basketball did not. Were there any other sports?
It was only volleyball as a pilot this year.
Okay, I got you.
What's this? You said did this. What is this?
As far as the neutral site, at state semifinals.
I see.
So
yeah,
I was wrong
it in
then.
volleyball.
Okay.
Does that mean it can be put into effect for basketball, or it's too late?
Probably not this year, but it looks like that's going to be on the docket for this next realignment to basically set sites, kind of how we had regional tournament sites, but for semifinals.
I feel like now that you've split these divisions, in a lot of ways you almost have to because you've doubled the amount of state championship games.
Correct.
Which is why,
and that's why
I would also.
That's why when I applied for it, I thought that's why Wichita Falls was an outstanding location for it. And, obviously the fact that we have 2 of these, 2 arenas there to be able to host multiple, I think it would be outstanding.
And can we, next year when they do all this, can we please, somebody with the UIL, please move the basketball state title games to Dickey's Arena?
Yeah, just get them out of the Alamo Dome. I don't care where you go. Just get them out of the Alamo Dome.
Can we call going to state actually going to state?
Oh, here we go.
All right, college football. Latest college football playoff bracket has
but
been...
they call the playoffs in hockey every round is still the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Okay. Am I missing something?
What's the difference in that and the state quarterfinals?
What about the NBA finals?
But they don't call every round the NBA finals playoffs. In the NHL, they call every round is still the Stanley Cup playoffs, not the NHL playoffs.
I'm not even sure if I know what you're saying. So, like the first round.
So that's the same thing. It's Stanley Cup finals, quarterfinals, or first round, or whatever. Stanley Cup quarterfinals, just like state's quarterfinals.
What are we doing?
No, it's not time for that segment yet.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
I just wanted to throw another wrench into MJ's,
what are we doing?
I don't think. Anyway. Stanley Cup playoffs, NBA finals, whatever. Here's a college football playoff. Notre Dame ranked 9. Coach Free, know you love that.
Crap.
Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Georgia 3. I'm sorry, Texas A&M 3, Georgia 4. 5 is Tech. 6 is Ole Miss. 7, Oregon. 8, Oklahoma. 9, Notre Dame. 10, Bama. 11, Miami or ACC winner. 12, Tulane or American winner. Is that the American Conference?
Yes. Yeah. And you notice right there it says must-win conference. They've kind of changed that graphic to make it a little more self-explanatory.
Yes, right. That's a good point.
I'm totally fine with 1 through 4. I'm fine with 5. Fine with 6. I'm fine with 7. It's after that where I get a little bit. I'm interested in hearing you guys' thoughts.
Okay.
Basically, 8, 9, 10, 11 are interesting to me, and BYU being out, mainly 11.
Well, I think 11 and 12 are locked in just because you've got to have those other two conference champions in there. So,
okay.
So that, I mean, I think basically we're looking at who's going to be in the top 10.
So you're talking about the difference in Alabama and BYU. Okay, then I'm not as upset.
Right.
It's Notre Dame. In that caveat of in that little cluster there, it's Notre Dame that has no business being there.
I still think BYU or Utah has an argument, but then you start looking at who do you take out.
Yeah.
I mean, and I get
but
that.
Not above Alabama, they don't.
No, and that's what I'm saying. You start getting into the argument of who do you take out. Notre Dame, to me, like you say, is the most logical one. As much as I wish I could say Oklahoma showed a lot going to Alabama and winning last week. I mean, you have to give Oklahoma credit for that. Mm-hmm. And I heard some people saying, well, Alabama played terrible, blah, 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 whatever. The fact of the matter is Oklahoma still went to Bryant-Denny Stadium and beat Alabama. So you have to give them credit for that. Yes. And I think right now they're deserving of a spot. The one that, I wouldn't say the one that shocks me, if you saw the halftime score of Texas A&M, did you really think Texas A&M would still be sitting here 3? I didn't think Texas A&M. I mean, they were down 30-3 at halftime.
Yeah,
I gave them no shot of winning that game,
and they did.
It was a really weird game because it was seriously one of those games where you look up at halftime and you're like, "How is this the score?" They played that bad, and it was that opportunistic by South Carolina. Like it was turnovers. It was the weirdest. But then one of the things that you knew, like I knew it because I was watching it on my phone as we were Christmas decoration shopping in San Angelo. That's a whole nother thing. But once they scored that first possession, I was like, South Carolina can't stop them. South Carolina has to score one time in the second half, one possession in the second half, and they'll win the game. Yep. And they could not stop them. They could not stop them. They did not score in the second half. And they they could have got beat worse. Like, that's how crazy it was. They had another possession there at the end where they could have got beat worse than 31-30.
So when you look at so A&M still got Texas. They've got this week, I think, is the SEC Patsy week where they all play.
Correct. I'm going to that game, by the way, be in attendance for the Samford game.
Okay.
Nice.
That's probably a good game for potential A&M students to go to. I mean, it should be a dog walking. So
that's right. Get Jordan Freeman fired up.
Have you ever been to the dog grave site at A&M, Grant, that they said supposedly is a working scoreboard?
Oh yes.
It's Samford, like Oklahoma State, those would be good games to go against, yeah.
At this point in time, I just want to see Oklahoma State play MSU. I don't know who they would beat. And I'm telling you,
here's the thing, going back to the playoff,
was just a bad game.
Yeah, going back to the playoff though, like Jackson Freeman was reading these off to me last night as we were leaving the basketball game coming home, and he was telling me the order. I was like, even though I have a disdain for Notre Dame and I don't like Miami and Tulane being in there, all of these games look good. Like, I would be excited to see. I would be fired up for Alabama, Oregon. I would be fired up for Miami, Ole Miss. I'd be happy with Oklahoma, Notre Dame. Texas Tech's going to run rule Tulane. But then you look at, I like this setup way better than last year where it was kind of cattywampus and, Boise State it was weird.
What's that word you just used?
I'm fired up for this month of football.
Cattywampus?
I don't know what I said there, but I think I said cattywampus.
Is that a word?
But I'm telling you, I'm excited for that month of football. I don't think there's any poo-poo games there. The only poo-poo game there would be potentially the Tulane Texas Tech game. But it's going to be in Lubbock, and it will be bananas there.
And here's the thing right now, and here's the thing to kind of pause a little bit on Tulane. Tulane is in there right now because they are the highest ranked Group of 5 team. They still have an AAC Conference Championship game against North Texas.
If you put North Texas in that slot and they're going to Lubbock and Eric Morris is going to, that would be even more bunkers. So
essentially what that is saying right now is your AAC champion, whether it's Tulane or North Texas, seems to have the inside track. Now that South Florida lost to Navy, they're kind of out of that mix. I don't remember. There was one other Group of 5 team, and I can't right off the top of my head remember who it was.
James Madison, I think?
James Madison, yeah, that's who it was. Which I think if you're talking about Tulane, North Texas, and James Madison, I would I would venture to guess Tulane and North Texas probably have better resumes than James Madison does. But I think the way that
I don't know. That's where Signetti came from. That's where he was winning. Before he went to Indiana.
I think what that bracket is telling you though is the winner of that, assuming they don't slip up in the next couple of weeks, the winner of that AAC championship game is going to get that spot. And I do agree. I think Tech would roll North Texas, but I think it would be a fun game.
Can I ask you, can you put the graphic back up?
Yes, sir.
And I want to ask you guys this just as fans. Like, we're all three fans of college football.
Mm-hmm. I'm
telling you right now, other than sliding BYU into that Tulane spot, or Utah, I would like to see BYU or Utah in that Tulane spot. But we can all get on board with this. I mean, I don't think there's another team. I don't want to see Texas. I don't want to see some of the Tennessee. I don't want to see I like this. Let's go. This is going to be a great time.
This formula is doing what it was supposed to do. I mean, as much as I would like to see that second Big 12 team in there, we're talking about BYU, Utah, Notre Dame. We're talking about somewhere in that area. None of them are going to win the national championship.
Yes. I would like to see them in that Tulane spot.
Right.
Like the second Big 12 team. Now, not playing Tech, obviously, because that's already happened. It'll probably happen in the Big 12 championship. But I would like to see them in that Tulane spot. That's the only gripe I have. I wish they wouldn't give the group of five an automatic.
Well,
that's the only gripe I have because I love this. This is going to be good. If you win a national championship out of this, you earned it.
And this is going to be the formula next year too, because I heard on the radio yesterday. I guess the committee or whatever, there was a lot of talk about going to 16. Well, I guess they've confirmed they're not going to 16 next year.
You want to know what I dislike though? Let me say this: what I do dislike. Can you pull the graphic back up?
Yes, sir. I'm
sorry, I keep telling you what to do. I think the quarterfinal game should be home site. I think they've earned that.
I agree.
I don't like.
I've actually thought you actually get a little bit of a punishment because you get a bye week, but you don't get a home game.
You get a bye week, and then you got to go to a neutral site against an opponent who's got momentum that just hosted a game. You don't get. I don't know. I would love to see the second round games.
Here's what I want to see. I want to see. Let's have our playoff system. Let's take the bowl system completely out of the playoff system. I'm not saying do away with the bowl games, but let's go back to what the bowl games used to be, where they're just exhibition games.
For everybody outside of the top 12.
Right. And even if you want to, as you expand the playoff, if you're taking 16, 20 teams, as those first round teams get eliminated, then the Cotton Bowl can go select a team that got beat in the first round or whatever. But just make them two.
Well, and that's the deal.
Just make them two separate entities.
Just let the semifinals and championship be bid out between the NFL stadiums.
Absolutely. And
that's where we're playing the Cotton Bowls and stuff now anyways.
I mean, because right now you get a semifinal game potentially or a quarterfinal game that, let's say, and I don't even know where they're lined up, but let's say you get a quarterfinal game potentially that's the Cotton Bowl of Oregon and Indiana. No offense to Oregon and Indiana, but that's not the Cotton Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
well, I think it's dumb to label it as the Cotton Bowl anyway, because it's not the Cotton Bowl anyways.
Right.
We're not at the bowl anymore. This is a whole unique system.
Right.
Why do we need to associate with the bowls to call the semifinal game who cares? Right. It's at Jerry's World or it's at, SoFi or it's at wherever. Right. I would rather see the buys get this, the second home game there, and those campuses would be rocking. And you have to be sure, Chad, that you call it the right thing, or else old guy gets upset.
I'm the youngest on this show by a lot of years.
Noted, but you also act way older than Chad and I sometimes.
The sites for the quarterfinals are Cotton Bowl, Arlington, Texas; Orange Bowl, Miami Gardens, which is Miami Dolphins Stadium; Rose Bowl, which is the actual Rose Bowl, Pasadena; Sugar Bowl, which is New Orleans, which is the Saints. The semifinals, Fiesta Bowl, Glendale, Arizona, home of the Cardinals; Peach Bowl, Atlanta, home of the Falcons; and the College Football National Championship, Monday, January the 19th, Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN.
See, and like I say, just take the bowls completely out of it. Let those be what they used to be. Let them be an exhibition game. It's a great opportunity, even if you have kids that sit out, but it's a great opportunity of another 3 or 4 weeks of practice for these teams. Just make them what they used to be. Exhibition
the Arizona Stadium. That stadium is crap.
They've hosted Super Bowls in the last couple of years.
But that's what I'm saying is that's what it was one of the old model cavernous stadiums. I'd rather it be at SoFi or somewhere.
And here's another thing with letting them host games that I agree with you, Grant. You think of like an Ohio State that doesn't get to host a home game. Could you imagine Ohio State in the middle of December when it potentially could be snowing? And
that's what they were talking about. Like Notre Dame last year, it was so cold. Like SMU, wasn't it SMU? Like they were. I think it's an advantage. Yes. I think it's great. You tend to get more upsets on neutral fields because it's whatever. Those 4 teams have earned the bye, and they are like their resting doesn't help them as much as being at home would.
Don't forget, as we're talking college football, you can help Jacob Rodriguez earn a spot in the Heisman voting as a finalist, perhaps. J-Rod, of course, Texas Tech Red Raider linebacker, although played a snap at quarterback this past weekend, so, quarterback award, Heisman, yada, yada, yada. It's the Heisman fan vote. Head online, HeismanFanVote.com. Very simple. Take you to this website right here. You can go on, make your vote. You can do it once per day. Type in who you're looking for, Jacob Rodriguez. You can vote. All you need is your name. You got to say you're not a robot. Your name, my name's Michael. Your last name, Baird. You got to put in your email. mbaird@kfdx.com. Obviously, you.
I thought it was Tobin.
Well, that too. That's where you send your complaints.
Can you pick
not Oklahoma State, but Texas Tech.
Oh, I was going to ask if you could pick your school.
Spit it out. Quinnipiac.
Quinnipiac.
We don't have football. No, I might be able to pick UMass, the worst team in college football. Anyway, you submit your vote, and then you say your vote's submitted. Great. Okay, let's have a look at the very bottom. Let's check the ranking. Who might be winning the Heisman fan vote at this moment in time? Wouldn't you know it? It is our Texoma talent, J-Rod, 29.8% of the vote. He's currently leading. You say, why is this important? The Heisman fan vote. Whoever wins the Heisman fan vote gets a real vote when it comes to the committee in the balloting.
I think he's starting to turn enough heads that he might end up getting an invite to New York.
I hope so.
I mean, I've started to see
I hope so too.
I've started to see some of the Heisman lists come out, and he's starting to show up on some of the legit Heisman lists now, where he wasn't a couple of weeks ago. And I think the closest. And
I want to clear something up that Game Day reported. We need to clear some things up. Game Day reported. They said he had never, he'd only played quarterback in high school. He'd never played defense.
Oh yes, I heard
That's
that.
Wrong. That's incorrect.
Yes.
And I know that because we threw him the ball 3 times in the third round of the playoffs in 2019. Specifically, threw the ball to him.
And he was not on your team.
In fact, Zy Gravitt waited. They were playing with 10, and we had a play called right to where he was supposed to be. He wasn't out there because he couldn't find his helmet. And Zy, gentlemanly enough, waited to snap the ball until he ran onto the field and then threw it directly to him. And so, Game Day, you reported false information. I'm here to clear it up on the free-for-all.
Yeah, and I believe their exact words were, never played defense in his life.
I have the video evidence to prove that incorrect.
And we talked a little bit about that. Bindle actually made the comment about being the dumbest coach in America, his words, not mine.
Correct.
Because he didn't play J-Rod more on defense.
I agree with that statement.
Wait, which one?
But I also recall, and we talked a little bit about this with Bindle last week on our local podcast. He, J-Rod, a couple of those years was banged up a little bit. So, and that was back when the region was pretty much our district, and that was the region that was who was gonna meet. And so you could kind of get through district, but you better believe, like you mentioned, round 3 of the playoffs, when games were on the line and it meant something, he was out there playing defense.
Certainly.
Yep.
Gotta have your best players on the fields. And specifically when the other team's interested in throwing him the ball, that just
and I gotta say, and I know there was snarkiness in it, but I loved Joey McGuire's comment after the game where he said something along the lines of, they said the quarterback that the Heisman this year is a quarterback award, so we had to put J-Rod at quarterback, and he scored a touchdown.
Bang, easy money.
Couldn't be a bigger Joey McGuire fan.
I've listened to a lot of his stuff over the last year, just because obviously trying to keep tabs on J-Rod, and I agree.
Joey McGuire,
I like the way he runs it.
That group of rider teams that had Markel Martin, Shavadrick Beaver, Jarrell Thompson. That when Scott Ponder was the coach, that group of that really good rider group opened the season against Cedar Hill when Joey McGuire was the head coach at Cedar Hill.
Fun.
Coach Free, class is now in session. We're going to listen to Texas A&M head coach Mike Elko. And I really liked what he said this weekend. And you're a coach. I want your perspective on it because it's talking about the role of a coach. Not X's and O's, not hype and not hype, but really getting down to the nitty-gritty. What is the job of a coach? I thought he explained it very well. I want to listen to it and have your reaction.
What do you want us to do? Panic? This speech, I'm sure, will come out at halftime, and everyone thinks this is this amazing speech at halftime. It's not. We won that game 6 months ago with what we did in the winter. We didn't win that game because I went in at halftime and said something. We built a culture, we built a character, we built a commitment to doing things the way we want to do them back in January and February, and that's what came out in the second half. And it's not I went in and I riled them up, and because I riled them up, they started playing. That's not how this works. It just doesn't. And so, I have to be calm and collective. My job is to be calm and collective when they're frantic. My job is to create intensity when they're not intense. My job is to always be opposite the moment. It's not to let the moment take me away. I'm the 48-year-old guy who's supposed to see this thing with clear eyes. They're the 18 to 21-year-old kids who get emotional. And so it's easy for me. It's easy for me to try to help them get through it as best I can. Now, again, I don't want to be in that situation. I'm not saying I do, but when you're in it, you got to try to figure your way out of it. And we were able to do that.
Coach Free, did he hit the nail on the head or what?
Yeah, that's the best explanation I can give for coaching. There are 30 plus guys that work for me, and we've talked about this before a little bit. We touched on it a little bit on the podcast in regards to the Decatur game, the Keokata game. But I've never heard the term be opposite of the moment. What the term that we used is when you kind of look around when things are hitting the fan and you look at the guys that are the calmest or aren't running from it. And that's the guys you want to go to war with. And that's what we tried to be as a coaching staff. When it got to the worst parts of it, we tried to be the calmest and the ones with the plan that could move our teams forward. And that's the philosophy in which we preach. That's the philosophy in which I coached with. I'm a very demonstrative, animated type person. But if you ever notice when the game got tighter or bigger, or I was normally very calm or collected or quieter at that point, the times that I was demonstrative and animated were during times of the game or before the game or practice or fun times like that. But I think it's one of the best explanations of coaching that has been out there. You build the culture of your team through the times in which you're not playing, and then the follow through of that culture is on Friday nights or on Saturday nights or whatever that is. But you have to build all those things in the hard parts, in the Januaries, in the off season, in the meetings with coaches, in the hiring process, in the development process with the kids. And that's just an outstanding way to put it.
Can I just say I love Mike Elko? I think he is a great football coach. I don't want to hear anybody in the A&M athletic department, though, taking credit for that, because I think he was fifth or sixth on their hiring list when everybody else either turned them down, because they were about to hire one of the Stoops brothers, and it became public. And the fans had such outrage that they backed off of it, and I mean they end up with
it was one of those deals. Yeah, it was one of those deals where they had him in the building prior, like he had already been.
Yeah, he was a defensive coordinator.
DC then. Yeah. So I mean, if you got that sitting there, why not go get that?
I mean that dude won at Duke.
Yeah. I just think I think that's a really good. I loved that quote this weekend.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good deal. And sometimes, guess what? Sometimes the result is you don't win the game either.
Right.
I know I know we're a results based deal, society, but sometimes culture doesn't just make sure that you win everything.
Right.
But it is nice when it works that way because of the culture you've set.
Yeah. Like you said, the payoff for the work 6 months ago is in games like that. And it doesn't always go that way, but when it does, that's what you fall back on. Coach Free, did you watch any of the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football this week?
I did. I watched We had a board meeting, so I watched kind of some of the back end of it.
And your thoughts as far as the new look defense with the trade acquisitions?
This is me pouring some settled down juice on everybody that thinks that they're going to the playoffs or whatever. I'm pouring some settled down juice on them.
Do people actually think that at 4-5-1?
Oh,
some of the people.
All the people with and all the people
with
all the people with the you Cowboy haters. We're back. I've heard that a few times.
But it's like I told you guys. It's like I've told you for the last couple of weeks. I think the offense is a little bit of fool's gold. I don't think it's all fool's gold, but I think it's a little bit of fool's gold. I really do. Like they feast on really bad teams and they get up really big early, and just as a total effort all the way across, I don't know. We're gonna find out how good they are the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, we are.
But I'm not sold on it. I don't buy it. I liked the Quinnen Williams acquisition. I did. I thought the linebacker addition was poo-poo, but Quinnen Williams is a good player. I think he's one of the better tackles, and he came out with something to prove in game 1 against the Raiders. Let's see what they do in the next 3 weeks, having to stop the run like the Lions and the Eagles, and then somebody stop the Chiefs. And so let's all settle down for a second.
I think their defense will look pretty good next week. And the only reason I'm saying that is because the Eagles are winning right now with their defense. They're not winning with their offense. Barkley's numbers are, I think I saw the other day, he's averaging 60 yards a game. Jalen Hurts is missing
plus they
receivers.
just lost Lane Johnson too.
Right. Jalen Hurts is missing receivers by a lot, but I mean they're 8-2. 8-2 is 8-2. But I think the Cowboys defense is going to look good next week. It's just the offense will be on the clock next week.
But let's be clear, like even that clip you keep showing of Pickens. I mean they turned it down. Like they're turning it down. They're not going to tackle him.
Right.
He catches the ball on a 10-yard in cut and then breaks out for another 20 yards untouched, going into the end zone. And there are 5 people around him. That's horrible.
Bad team. Yep.
They have played what I've seen so far this year is the 2 worst teams I've personally seen in football this year. With
like
the Jets
who's their
and the
best
Raiders.
win right now? Somebody tell me what
the
their
Cowboys'
best win.
I don't think they have a best win. I think their best game has been a tie.
Yeah, tie with the Packers.
Yeah, but even that doesn't look great right now, like the way they're performing.
I mean, yeah, like you said, what is it, 3 games in the next 12 days? Like, that's telling.
Again, who have they beat this year? They beat the Raiders.
They lost to the Panthers, which was a game that you would have thought
lost
they should have won.
Lost to the Cardinals. Who did they beat? Oh, boy.
And really, if you're...
that's what I'm telling you. Like,
I mean, the Panthers and Cardinals should have been what you would consider winnable games.
Find me their best win. I don't...
Oh, yeah, it's easy, Coach Free. They beat the Jets. Remember that? Oh, yeah, they beat the Giants in overtime. Remember that one, too? Those are 2 outstanding wins. And then they beat the Commanders. Yeah.
Didn't Jaden Daniels get knocked out of that game?
Doesn't matter. They're terrible anyway. I was much higher on them this year, and they just haven't done it.
I would consider the best win in that the Giants, maybe, or the Commanders.
The Giants against Russell Wilson, by the way, not even against Jackson Dart.
So bad.
In overtime, 40-37. Yeah, atrocious. Cam Scatterboo had a big game, if I do recall.
And then they'll win these games and totally screw up their draft pick.
They're 4-5-1. They have Philly, Kansas City, Detroit, Minnesota, LA Chargers.
So like you said, they're going to finish probably 7-8-1.
Genuinely, they could lose the next 5 in a row.
Yeah, and again, like it's the mindset problem. Like there's a bad football team, record and on the field wise, and Jerry's trading to go all in right now. Like all you're doing is you're going to win a bunch of games that screw up your draft pick instead of just totally tanking and getting the best possible asset of being bad. Because it's not like a lottery like in the NBA.
I'm afraid we're out of time.
Wah, wah.
I know. I did want to get to one more thing, but we're not going to get to it because we're out of time. So, Coach Free, safe travels up to Iowa Park this week. Can't wait to see you Friday afternoon.
See you. I'm excited.
We need to see an MJ Grant selfie.
I'll see what I can do.
I was going to see. I mean, like maybe you should, just for old time's sake, interview me again.
Oh, jeez.
There you go.
How big is your head, man? I interview you every week
Grant
on the Free4ALL podcast.
Grant Freeman could make that trip early, and he could join us for lunch bunch on Friday.
He could.
Ooh, I could.
Yeah, but you probably have to see your family. I mean,
they'll be in school.
Yeah.
Okay, well then let's see if we can do it.
Where is lunch bunch this Friday?
It's actually my choice. We're going to Hefe's.
Okay.
Southwest Parkway. So
let's go.
We'll be there around 11:45, Coach Free, if you're going to come into town early.
I don't know my plans yet. Sorry.
Okay, well, let us know. For you at home,
Patrick McCauley, you're invited as well.
Yeah, sure. Will people have?
I need my own
this?
setup, Patrick McCauley.
No, you need better Wi-Fi. Talk to the Burnett IT people.
He's probably not on Wi-Fi. He's probably hardwired.
Probably is, and that's even worse that it's bad connection. McCauley Landscapes proudly serving Wichita Falls for over 2 decades, and they are the official sponsor here on the Free4ALL podcast. Visit them online, McCauleyLandscapes.com, or give them a call, 940-632-5346. This has been episode number 77 of the Free4ALL podcast. We are back with episode 78 next week. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great time, and we'll see you next week. See ya.